silent, they say. We can do that. We can do that. Choose a rare card. The starting bonus I like quite a lot. Hey there, Root711. Thank you so much for 28 months. Yeah, just one little last stretch of the water. Had to be thorough about it. Oh. We can get a very reliable one hit point elite off of Meow's Lament here. Which is, I think, how our last run started, is it not? We had a... when it comes to Potato, not so bad, Andy, to kind of derail the thought process at the very beginning of the run here with a answer about a different game. But for Masochist in Brotato, we had a really successful run starting with a Ghost Axe. Ghost Axe gives you percent damage up for getting a lot of kills with it. Normally the problem with the Ghost Axe is its low initial damage, but in the early waves of Brotato, Masochist is able to use their incredibly high defensive stats to just face tank the early enemies and kill them with the Ghost Axe. And then the further you get into the run, the more initial damage you'll deal. And the less you'll need to rely on the Masochist scaling. Pretty cool. How often do I take HP over Lament when given the choice between the two? I'll take Lament if I can get a free elite, otherwise I take the HP. Taking 6 max HP as your starting bonus in Slay the Spire really isn't that bad. It doesn't feel great, but it's a solid advantage, especially if you're playing on the Ascension levels where you don't have an initial max HP penalty. So, for example, going to 88 max health on Ironclad is really quite nice. What would my path look like otherwise? The Elite Snipe lets us get 3 elites? Okay, yeah, let's do Meow's Lament here. Enemies at our first 3 combats have only a single hit point. Can definitely save you some health in the early fights, but I often only find it really worthwhile if you can get 1 or more elites that only have 1 health. And we might even be able to get the Burning Elite here with 1 health if we can get no combat in either of these events. And I would happily snipe the Burning Elite. That's a really good start to a run, oftentimes. Our Act Boss is who? Hexaghost. Okay, that makes me want to take a Bouncing Flask pretty heavily here, applying 3 poison to a random enemy 3 times. Although we're only on floor 2, it's not too early to start thinking about your Act Boss. Because the first Act Boss is always going to be the first big wall of the run. You really have to have shaped the deck with the foreknowledge of what's coming if you want to be able to succeed. And any single target poison card is a good way to deal with Hexaghost. Caltrops was also acceptable there. But I think Bouncing Flask is better than Caltrops versus Hexaghost. The most fulfilling of lives is that in which you can buy anything, says the Serpent. I pretty fundamentally disagree. We just left the shop. Be gone. And another event that's not a fight, that means we can go this way now, and guaranteed, with 2 charges of Meow's Lament, face a Burning Elite that has only a single hit point. I think that's probably correct. Good. Can remove Transform or Upgrade. This early on, Transform is usually my bet. I could also see upgrading Bouncing Flask here, but we can do that here. Let's Transform. Silent often wants to get rid of all 5 of her strikes. The extra starting cards on this character really means that removals are all the more important. I wouldn't call Finisher ideal by any means as a strike replacement, but it's probably better. Sometimes. Piercing Whale, all in attack is good area damage. Something to consider here. Piercing Wail, not too bad for Hexaghost. Really good for Act 2. Let's grab an early Piercing Wail. This might be a little bit low damage-wise for the deck, but since the Burning Elite's going to have 1 hit point, I'm not too worried just yet. And yeah, all-out attack plus finisher is a pretty awkward combo anyway. So if I could avoid that, then why not? Get him, Bouncing Flask. Good enough. We get a Pentagraph, healing us at the start of boss fights. A little awkward, actually, with Hexaghost, but I think the Piercing Wail means it's not too bad. Blade Dance. 3 shivs into our hand. That's good with Finisher. And is a good attack card besides, or a good damage card, more accurately. Let's take it. And look at that. Instant payoff. Oh. Am I more or less done with Slice and Dice? I would not say so. I've got a lot of games on deck at the moment, which means Slice and Dice hasn't been getting much stream time. But as far as I'm aware, the game's not even done development, so I have many reasons to revisit it as it gets more patches. When it comes to Steam, for example, there'll be a lot more reason to play it more. I'll take a footwork. Sure. And I think we're good for 2 more elites here. Got lots of health, we've got healing headed our way, we're already set up well for the Act Boss. Let's keep going. Give me some relics here. A Molten Egg. All attacks will be upgraded. Very exciting. Give me the Backstab Plus. Give me Predator Plus. I don't know. Give me some stuff. I think this is a fight where the Cultist Potion's 1 strength per turn could make a big difference, making Blade Dance and /or Finisher more impactful. We were hoping we'd see Bouncing Flask turn 1, but that didn't manifest. Do we play Footwork just to avoid redrawing it? I don't think so. We just need to do damage here as much as possible. Oh, nice. We did draw Blade Dance Finisher together. The bad news is, we didn't draw any damage next turn. So, that's kind of sad. Oh. Sure. Good thing I used the Cultist Potion. 6, 9. Now we have a Shuriken. Oh, man. Shuriken Molten Egg with Finisher and Blade Dance. I like it. Masterful Stab is 0 cost, at least until we take damage, but once we do take damage, it's a bit awkward. I think I might actually prefer a Quick Slash here. 12 damage base is pretty good, and the fact that it draws 1 is also going to help a lot with ensuring block consistency or making Finisher more reliable. So I'll take the Quick Slash over the Masterful Stab. And I'll take the Golden Idol in exchange for, I guess, some of our max health, although we could reasonably give up 23 current health here. I think the Elite could really press us. Let's do it this way. More money is going to make things easier in the future. I don't think we're bouncing flasking. I'm thinking we go Quick Slash, Blade Dance, Neutralize, Survivor here. Just got to kill one of them pretty quickly. Next turn should be reasonable. 2 strikes would do it. Don't see a reasonable way to block here. This just looks like Sucker Punch, Strike, Finisher to me. Use Finisher to kill this one. Means we get to double hit one of the others. So let's do that to you. This turn might hurt. Not at all. Not at all. Good. Lucky draws so far. Strike Finisher kills the front one. But also Bouncing Flask. Which either, if it hits the front one twice, we can kill it with Strike. If it hits the back one 3 or 4 times, we can just defend and take 3. Let's do Bouncing Flask here. Perfect. Perfect outcome. Nice. Really lucky. So after images here, that would make taking more Shuriken interacting cards pretty good. Meanwhile, Riddle with Holes can hit pretty hard as well by hitting 5 times. It's also an uncommon card we haven't mastered. Interesting. And the Nunchaku. I think that makes After Image a bit better, though. So After Image it is. Ah. That won't be enough damage. Let's go Whale Defense. Might have been a little too passive here. All good. We get his Smoke Bomb. How appropriate. Second Quick Slash, but how about a Well-Laid Plans? I've had so many silent runs lately where we never got a Well-Laid Plans. I'm not going to let this one go. Thanks for the Smoke Bomb, hee. Uh-oh. These two are nasty. Let's see, where's my Smoke Bomb? I think we got a Bouncing Flask first, and then we can decide whether we're Sucker Punching one of them or playing the After Image. That's pretty ideal. That makes me want to Sucker Punch the Louse so we can kill the Louse next turn. There's now 1 strike, or even 1 Shiv gets it. Yeah, that's good. Yeah. Footwork Defend takes 1. Defend doesn't take anything. Okay. Second chance at Masterful Stab. I like it more now. I do like it more now. Okay. Also, I didn't talk about this, but Well-Laid Plans when you have a finisher is actually very, very good. Maybe to the point... It's also very, very good with Piercing Whale. I think to the point where we do upgrade it here. Going into Hexago, so we can retain 2. We have 54 health. Yeah, look at that. Now we get to retain Piercing Whale for next turn. Very important. means this attack is for 5 times 6, and we have a Masterful Stab. I would prefer that stay free. What a blessed turn 1. Ah. Don't mind me, just holding on to Finisher for a better turn. But maybe I wanted to Masterful Stab there. Yeah, now I have to Masterful Stab here. That's not true. I should. Alright, good talk. Both Blade Dance and Bouncing Flask on the bottom deck here is actually a bit awkward. We gotta play Bouncing Flask first, keep Blade Dance Finisher. That feels right. Here we go. This is the Finisher turn. Turblam. Alright, we'll take 1, so the Masterful Stab will cost 1 next time we see it, but that's fine. $20 damage off this Masterful Stab. Pretty impressive. Actually, I should have checked whether we had a kill here. I don't think so. Might have actually had a kill with 4 strength. Let's see, this was 24, 34, not quite. No. Now we do, though. Cool. Hexaghost quite thoroughly vanquished. We have exactly 300 bucks. We're being offered a Glass Knife or a Grand Finale, 2 unmastered rares that are upgraded for free. And I have to say, Glass Knife slaps extra hard here. There's also, oh, I don't know, a Wraith Form, if we want to consider that. Pretty good card as well. But man, Glass Knife hits really, really hard up front, especially with Shuriken boosting it further. Very good use case for Glass Knife. Let's do it. We'd love to see Phantasmal Killer or Terror, so we can multiply this attack damage further. Well-Laid Plans Grand Finale, though, is pretty juicy. But is it juicy enough? I don't think so. Wow, what a set of 3 relics here. Yikes. Busted Crown, Act 1 boss offered yet again here. We've had a lot of these lately. Busted Crowns that are very, very difficult to take early. And I think with one of our egg relics here upgrading many attack cards that we see, there's all the more reason to look at more cards. So I'd say no to Busted Crown. We actually just won a Tiny House run. But it wasn't easy, and I don't think it would be easy if we took Tiny House here either. Calling Bell is going to give us a curse, but 3 immediate relics, 1 common, 1 uncommon, 1 rare, and that could make a big difference for us. So this would be my preferred choice. I think this is the best one overall. The downside is definitely a thing, but not too bad. And the upside should be substantial. Pretty good odds that at least one of the relics does something good. The idea with Calling Bell being that getting just more relics total makes your run stronger in a variety of ways and can add up to cumulative benefits either meeting or exceeding an energy per turn. Maybe we get another egg relic, for example. We get Centennial Puzzle, that's good card draw. First time we lose health each combat, draw 3. Eternal Feather, good healing. Whenever we visit a rest site, heal. And Calipers can allow us to keep block from turn to turn, although we can't generate that much block yet. Overall, pretty cool. 3 different blue relics. Very color scheme oriented. I like it. How much more would I like Tiny House if it gave more potion slots too? Quite a bit more. Potion slots alone would be strong. I think there are some runs where I would just take, as a boss relic, a potion belt. Probably one of the best common relics. I'd like to go to this shop. Usually I'm eyeballing a shop when we have around 300 gold. Events are a little tempting because of Golden Idol, but combats are tempting because we have Molten Egg. It's interesting here. Either way, we're starting here. The act overall... I think these elites or these elites could be reasonable. We'll have lots of health for that, so if we want, we can take 2, maybe a 3rd elite if we want to face this one or this one, but I don't think I'm that capable. If only I'd kept the smoke bomb from the other thieves. This would be a great time to use it. That said, I think we can get a lot done here. Taking a little bit of damage is even a good thing. I'm going to use Piercing Wail, I'm going to use Masterful Stab, I'm going to target the back one first here. And we're going to get bonus draw next turn, so Footwork Defend is pretty good. Defend Strike is also reasonable. Let's go Defend Strike, skip the Footwork. Set the Nunchaku to 9 here. Glass Knife. It's got the big damage. So I can either defend, block 5, or play Finisher, deal 21 damage. I think we block. We can KO this fool before anything serious happens. First of all, how dare you? Really good two thieves fight. We really didn't take that much damage there. Ooh, Deflect with an upgrade. Very nice. 0 cost block 7. Benefits from both Footwork and After Image. Works with our lack of energy per turn. Really like this card. We don't have the draw or discard to make a Reflex any good at the moment. Although it's at least somewhat reliable thanks to the well-laid plans. Give me that Deflect. Distilled Chaos is probably better than the Power Potion here. Cool. So, event or combat? Take combats up to the shop here. Bird Nerds. Alright. Good distribution. That actually could have been a moment where I wanted to take a small amount, perhaps. Could have Sucker Punch defended, take 1. Something to think about if this turn goes badly, and it sure does. Guess we'll be using the Distilled Chaos then. What do you got? Finisher, then Blade Dance. Not quite what I envisioned, but it'll do. Should have played Footwork first. It's all good. We block for exactly... well, slightly more than exactly the right amount. I'll take it. So, probably could have saved our potion there had I chosen to play turn 1 differently and utilize the Centennial Puzzle. Oh well. Not going to stress it too much. Can knock another bird out of the air this turn. Quick Slash, Glass Knife, Masterful Stab will do it. In fact, that might even just kill. It's a ton of damage. Jeez. Take 3. Hey there, Pythagoras, probably. Yes, we have to duplicate Necronomicurse with the mirror thing. Yes, that is absurd. Such is our fate in the Mastery Challenge. We've already managed to get Curse of the Bell and Ascender's Bane accomplished in this way. So Necronomicurse is the only really difficult curse that's left. Keep Nunchaku on 9 here. Slice Plus is actually pretty nice. We're on limited energy at the moment. It does blap. It's not as good as Masterful Stab most of the time, but it works. Another Footwork ain't too bad either. Footwork wants an upgrade, though. The Slice doesn't. I'll take a Slice. Slice and nice. Do I think Necrocurse or Defect Strike will be mastered first? I have my way. Gonna be Necrocurse. So a bit of an odd order here. I'm going to deliberately play Deflect Footwork. This is not a mistake that I'm making. This is an intentional choice in order to play, in order to draw more with Centennial Puzzle here. Can't believe he just misplayed like that. Quick shot. Do I even need After Image? Let's go with no. Might get attacked here. And then we can leave the fight with Nunchaku on 9 once again. Second Blade Dance. Or second Bouncing Flask. I mean, with Nunchaku, Shuriken, Finisher, it's a Blade Dance. No question. It's a Blade Dance, for sure. Alright, 3 fights went pretty well. I'm excited for what comes next. We can take another Finisher. We can take an Envenom. We can take a Waffle. We can take a Backflip. We can take another Slice. Many options here. 2 not mastered cards, Panacea and Mayhem. Panacea can block a debuff. I'd like this if we bought the Wraith form, or picked the Wraith form. Don't really love it on its own. There's no skills in this deck that I'd really like to have bottled. How do I value taking common cards in a shop? It's not a good thing to do most of the time, especially outside of Act 1. In Act 1, it's understandable, but beyond Act 1, common cards are often money you could be putting towards a relic or a card remove, if you're only able to find them from a combat reward instead. But it really depends on how important that common is to your deck. Sometimes you really need, for example, a True Grit in order to make everything work, and it's well worth paying the 50 gold for it. But here, for example, Backflip for 58 gold really doesn't feel very worth it to me, when I could just get that as a card reward. Pretty likely, in fact. Definitely down to remove a card. What would I like to remove? Strike? It's basic, but yes, I would like to remove Strike. Waffle gives us enough health to consider... what kind of path here? I think we're going to go this way. Get a bunch of heals like this, so I don't need the Waffle then, is what that tells me. I'd probably rather spend my money on a potion that'll be good. I think Duplication Potion is very strong here. Is it worth buying another Finisher? I don't think so. Envenom's a bit expensive to get in play, is the main issue with Envenom. So yes, I'm just going to take a Duplication Potion. It's true, we haven't mastered the Envenom. Lith, thanks for the 11 months of support. Don't know how this run is going, but subbing in support nonetheless. So far, it is certainly going. going quite well. Bloody Idol is back once again. Obtain a special relic, lose the golden idol to get 5 hit points whenever we gain gold. It's been showing up a lot lately. It's good. Very good. Might be overkill between the Pantograph and the Eternal Feather. Although, taking the... It's only 16 damage right now? I'm actually strongly considering taking the Sacrifice option. This is one of the relatively few cases where it might be worth it not to convert into the Bloody Idol. The reason for that being is that we'll still get the additional gold from the Golden Idol if we keep it, whereas we lose it if we turn it into the Bloody Idol. And we also lose this 5 max health that we could be gaining. We have a lot of healing coming our way. I'm going to sacrifice here. It's a weird choice, but I think it might be the right choice. And we're going to upgrade one of these blade dances to make another shiv. So that way we continue to gain the bonus money. We have a little bit more max health, and we still have lots of healing between Eternal Feather and Pantograph. Nice. That is the turn 1 I wanted to see, that's for dang sure. I'm pretty sure we just win this fight. This might be a 0 damage Slavers. Crazy. But I think we still want to use the dupe pot. We just use the dupe pot on the blade dance here. Yeah. That's why we bought it. Seven times 7. Big number. It's gonna be more than that, actually. Okay, well, you're super dead. That's what we learned. Take 1. Wow. That went exceedingly well. We now have a specimen, meaning poison can transfer from one enemy to another upon death. As well as some upgraded attacks that are okay. I don't really want a Sucker Punch. I don't really want a Dagger Throw. Let's skip. What a failure. And yeah, we're about to be back to full health despite taking the sacrifice option. Which feels right to me. Art of War. If we play no attacks during our turn, gain an extra energy next turn. With well-laid plans alone, this is pretty good, although the deck is relatively attack-oriented. I think it's still pretty solid. And let us upgrade the footwork. The more block we can generate, the more the calipers have a chance to be relevant. Alright, our second elite will be the Book of Stabberino. Ow. This is not a good start to this fight. I am indeed standing right now, yes. Got a standing desk. I do sitting for part of the stream, standing for part of the stream, usually. Also down for After Image Bouncing Flask. Benefit from Art of War here. Getting that poison down is more damage than this will be. Although I could get 2 strength if I go Sucker Punch, Blade Dance, Finisher, right? 2 strength. Okay. We're not healing for a while, but we have lots of healing coming. Okay, yeah, this is fine. Play Piercing Whale. I can play Strike, then Glass Knife, or I can play Footwork. I'm gonna play Footwork. I'm sure I have to block this turn. Not too bad. Nah, it's not bad at all. Okay, that's a pretty good fight. We had an awkward draw order, is what I would say, and we came out of it with an acceptable amount of health lost, considering the amount of healing we've got coming. Incense Burner is huge for this run. Every 6 turns, we gain 1 turn of... Every 6 turns, we get 1 intangibility, excuse me, which makes us immune, essentially, to damage for 1 turn. We time that correctly against certain boss fights. We can make the end game much easier for ourselves. I also like a free upgrade on Blur here, especially with well-laid plans. It's a good way to get the defensive energy of Calipers up. Blur lets you retain all your block for 1 turn, and then Calipers lets us lose it at 15 per turn rather than all at once. So we can retain block across many turns. I think I would call that a good synergy based on the way they interact. Whereas Calipers and Barricade are redundant. Kind of interesting, the difference there. Apparitions plus Incense Burner offered here. Lose half of our max health to gain 3 turns of intangible per fight. Interesting. Not necessarily a good thing. I have mixed feelings about this. I like our max health quite a bit, especially since we've invested in it. And these aren't upgraded apparitions, although we could start upgrading them. I refuse. It's also going to make Finisher less reliable. Hello. If I use the attack potion, maybe I can get both gremlins. Let's see what the attack potion has. Skewer, Sucker Punch, Dagger Throw. Sucker Punch is good here. We can weaken the leader. This'll work. Right, we go Footwork. Masterful Stab, Sucker Punch, After Image, Defend, Defend. We can get everything in play. Cool. Would I take a Prismatic Shard? We took one last run, and it worked out. We want you to almost die. Perfect. Okay, why so angry though? This is quite the hilarious turn. Looks brutal at first, but how about if I do this? Seems fine to me. This flask really needs to be played right now. Killing minions. Why would I bother doing that? I'm a spooky ghost. Let's see. One more fight before Collector. I'll wait one turn on this. Should have struck them for an Nunchaku, though. Dead Branch. Whenever you exhaust a card, add a random card to your hand. Seems pretty potent. With multiple Blade Dances, Dead Branch can create a lot of cards. It's pretty potent. I'll grab that for sure. Definitely going to derail our plans at times. But in a good way, usually. Like so. Generating finishers. All of a sudden. Or phantasmal killers. You know, whatever strikes our fancy. Cloak and Dagger works too. Outmaneuver definitely better than it was a moment ago. With Dead Branch, there's almost no limit to the amount of energy you can functionally use. Didn't set up my burner there. I got very distracted with killing Snake Plant as quickly as possible. I don't think we're going to need burner now that for a Collector now that we have Dead Branch, but that was definitely incorrect. I think we're now intangible on the Mega Debuff turn. Whoops. Let's take the outmaneuver. Not going to go 2 outmaneuvers like last time. I think that was a mistake. But one's pretty good. What is this? Neutralize upgrade? After image upgrade? Let's go Neutralize upgrade. Good. Do 3 attacks, which would also give me an energy back. Let's not. Never mind, let's yes. Good start. Collector will attack us next turn unless we can kill one of the minions this turn, and I don't think we can. So let's just block this turn. With Piercing Wail, Blur, Survivor, keep the Blade Dance and the Leg Sweep here, and use the Art of War to get another energy. Okay. Turn looks a bit weird. Blade Dance could definitely change things, though. Let's just start by seeing what the branch has before we even think about using potions. Terror. Expensive. Let's test out the other options. Storm of Steel, there we go. Bye! Well. That's why we took the Dead Branch, by the way. case it wasn't clear. It's pretty good. Yeah, where's our Master Reality now? Bring it on. Collector. Finisher, then Storm of Steel. Sure. GG. Alright, where's the real Storm of Steel? Dang it. This would have been the perfect time to go for Storm of Steel Mastery. I guess Malaise is fine. Nightmare is interesting, too. But Malaise is an excellent way to shut down enemy attacks, especially if you want to build up retained block with the calipers. One of the best ways to make that work is by reducing the damage the enemies do. We also have an outmaneuver, so we can set up a really powerful Malaise with the well-laid plans. I'll be taking that. All I got was this stinky Malaise and a stinky Cursed Key. I like Cursed Key more than I like Runic Dome, although calipers means Runic Dome's not that bad, huh? I think I'd still prefer the Cursed Key. We'll get one curse. But arguably Runic Dome was better than Cursed Key there. Very reasonably so. I'd love to take some events here. We've got a lot of events that'd be very good for us this act. A couple things that give rare relics, plus the ability to get money from the Golden Idol. More energy per turn is definitely helpful here. So overall, again with Dead Branch, there's almost no limit to how much energy you actually want. Yeah. Double yeah. Good work, Dead Branch. Haven't mastered Predator. Interesting. Good enough reason for me. Maybe we can grab another one. Fear Pot's pretty strong, since we have no vulnerable in this deck at the moment. There it is, the second Predator. I guess I'll just do that. What about Wing Boots? Does Wing Boots let me do anything powerful this act? I can fight 2 additional elites with those Wing Boots. Do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's not bad. Actually, wait. 1, 2... Jump 1, jump 2, jump 3. Yeah, I can't get to that one. Interesting. That is pretty powerful. Essentially buying 2 relics for that price, but I mean, for the price of 320, we can also just buy 2 actual relics. So maybe not. I am going to buy Calculated Gamble. Discard our hand, then draw that many cards, and then exhaust, and create 1 more card. That's good. Infinite Blades is almost good with the Dead Branch. Toolbox could be quite nice. Take a Toolbox. Extra card on turn 1. And a card remove. -1 strike. I think that's a good use for the money. If we're lucky, we can get more money for the golden idol from one of these events, or we can trade our remaining 39 gold and get a red mask. That's not too bad either. Cute. Glowing Tesseract. Lots of colorless cards say exhaust on them. Might even be able to get a pair here. Purity with Dead Branch. Trip is vulnerable. Sadistic Nature and Mind Blaster here. Oh, it's the run, Twitch chat. Let's go. Double Mind Blast. It's time. So anyway, I started blasting. And here it is. The reward for not taking the Bloody Idol. Earlier in the run, we get 333 gold in exchange for this golden idol. This, more than the incremental money, was the reason we wanted to sacrifice rather than swapping it out. So give me that money. Easy. Easy peasy. Yeah, immediately after the red mask, too. Just really lucky order of events there. Is my goal to master all cards on all colors? That's right, Votive Hester. Every card. Every color. Every creed. Every nerd. Do one of these. The other stuff, though. $44. $44. Wow, Mind Blast is exactly as strong as Glass Knife. The power. It's a really bad turn to be intangible. But this is a really good turn to have a ton of energy. Calipers, after all. Hello. Just gonna gamble. Boom! Pretty easy giant head fight. Excellent. We get an Akabeko, making our first attack do more damage. We're offered a Flechettes. There's bonus damage for each skill in hand. I don't think we want to add too many cards to try to master, though. We've been down that road before. And it usually leads to losing the run. Honestly, just getting Mind Blast crossed off the list would be a huge accomplishment here. So let's not overdo it. Backflip looks good, though. The Flechettes actually is pretty good with a Shuriken, though. As an attack card. That's true. Oh. No. I'm gonna go this way. More relics could help. Ooh, panic button. Sure. Give him the old double bouillou. Exactly. Glorious. Acrobatics Plus. That can draw through the deck nice and effectively. There might be a lot of garbage in the deck, so a card like this seems very helpful. And we are turn 1 intangible for the Nemesis. Let's take a discovery here. Good turn to just use Malaise on, but this is also a fight we need to deal damage in. Tricky, tricky. What if I could just do both? Any block in there? Maybe. There's block. This is also block. Excuse you. This is awfully close enough damage. With the Fear Potion, this is definitely enough damage. I'm not going to mess with this. Thread and Needle. 4 block per turn. Reduced by 1 whenever we take damage. Pretty good, pretty good. Another Piercing Wail. Amazing with Dead Branch. Amazing with Well-Laid Plans. Good against the Heart. I don't need to say more. I think it's good. This chest will curse us, but we have to open it because the blue key is contained within. We need the blue key in order to go to Act 4 in order to win the run. That settles us with a decay curse for now, which is not too bad. If we're really lucky, we maybe could get another copy of it, but I kind of doubt it. Akabeko. Buiu. I need to put these on Repto. They do so much damage. Not going to, though. Did that a little earlier. Oh, shoot. I made a terrible mistake. That was the wrong order to play those cards in. Terrible order. Terrible, terrible choice. Foolish. Well, I did that to myself, by and large. Maybe there's some salvation here. It's going to be a by and large a no. Punch you. Outmaneuver, gamble. Next turn's gonna be a bit spooky. We're intangible next turn. Next turn will be fine. Great turn to be intangible. Excellent turn. That could have been really bad, actually. Truly horrible. Life goes on. Cool. How's it going, Big Bug Buffer? Welcome, welcome. There it is, second Glass Knife. Another card for our Mastery Challenge here. Again, the goal with the Slay the Spire Mastery Challenge, acquire pairs of cards and then beat the heart with them to cross them off the mastery list. All we have to do is actually win. Ooh, lose a strike. Free remove, nice. Let's get some card draw. Love it. So satisfying to do that. Let's reroll some cards here. This. Sucker Punch Piercing Whale will block really well next turn, since this thing will multi-attack us. Bouncing Flask works very well on this fight also. Let's do that. So this enemy dies next turn, good. Let's just up the Shuriken count, the Chucken count rather. Still haven't actually won with 2 dagger sprays. Today won't be the day. Pretty happy with what we have. We could maybe consider a Crippling Cloud, but I think with the malaise we have, we won't need it. This could settle us with another curse. This enemy changes their attack intent every time you hit them with unblocked attack damage, which is sometimes kind of spooky. This is not quite enough block. I have many more attacks we can roll. Let's do a couple. That'll do. Excuse you? No one said you could do that. Acceptable, but only vaguely. Gonna have to take some damage here. Defend malaise looks good. Skip the Effort image for the moment. Take 2. We should go back to full health when we get to the bosses, so no worries there. Alrighty. Don't do that. Acceptable. Well, actually, what if I hit you a bunch? And then made you vulnerable. And then gambled for finisher. Satisfying. Catalyst is here. Does not do a whole lot. We have this one lonely poison card we picked up before Hexaghost, and then nothing else ever worked out with it. It's kind of funny. Dolly's Mirror. We can duplicate any card in the deck, should we so wish. Decay is an option. Yeah, I gotta say though, we still have to win, so I'm actually considering duping the Effort image. Neutralize is the other suggestion. As this is also not mastered, that's true, and it's upgraded too. I can believe in Neutralize, sure. try to do that. I'm going to lose the curse. Keep enough money to afford something important here. Sad nature. Dark Shackles. Okay. These two. Might as well glass knife? Might as well. Don't think we're ever using this malaise. Or, whoops, that's not quite right. Meant to keep the gamble there. This will work, though. Maybe we are using the malaise. Maybe we're stacking a ton of block for a long time. I'll be keeping this, and let's go with this too. There you are. Team by 2, 36. So we'll do one short unless I play this. Piercing Whale, Glass Knife for next turn. Get some real damage done here. Does Dead Branch interact with Prism? No. If you want the chaos that is Dead Branch giving you cards from all 4 colors, what you need is the custom mode modifier called Diverse, which allows all cards to appear from any color, and that will work on the Dead Branch. So get ye to custom mode. For next time. 39 cards in the draw pile. These Mind Blasts are about to show off. Get him, Mind Blast. Brilliant. The ultimate power. Oh, so close. Couldn't quite get there. We have to take damage for the first time this fight. Bummer. What a bummer. Burst. Swap maneuver, keep burst. And a weak source. Oh no! That I didn't draw any skills. Well, that's rude. Whatever, Pantograph has us. We'll be fine. Next boss is either Time Eater or the Awakened one. For the Awakened one, I want Intangible on turn 3, so we should kill this thing next turn. Good luck to us. Alright, our boss is the Time Eater, who limits the number of cards we can play each turn, which is definitely going to make things a little complicated. The Blade Dances here are kind of bad in particular. But not the Mind Blasts. But not the Mind Blasts. Blade Dance is 5 cards, so no, I'd have to get a 0-cost card. No, I can do it. Okay, let's do it full 12 cards here. Go Slice Flying Knee. That 3rd point of strength. Gamba. Okay, we want to use the melees with bonus energy of some kind. Next turn will be pretty good for melees. But I can't retain it because we don't have the well-laid plans yet, so maybe not. Now we do. Good talk. Thanks, Art of War. Slow and steady here. As long as we can keep gaining strength, this won't be too bad. Keep it up. More cards, please. Note that newly created Masterful Stabs don't have their cost impacted by the damage we've taken previously. That part's kind of nice. Going to be able to do the so-called Piercing Whale trick in this fight, where we play Piercing Whale on the turn Time Eater is purging debuffs, and so reduce their strength in this manner. Although I might need to play Piercing Whale right now, actually. $47 cards. Or, well, 41 plus 6. 47 damage. Pretty exciting. No, I don't feel like I need to. Exactly. Alright, the so-called Piercing Whale trick. Time Eater essentially forgets they had positive strength and end up at 0 strength after removing the debuffs. Kind of a weird little interaction with the mechanic here. Only remaining goal we really have here is to make sure Incense Burner goes to 4. So that we don't get destroyed. sad turn to be intangible. Why does the Piercing Well trick have the opposite effect on the heart? Because the heart does not remove debuffs. The heart only removes strength down. So essentially what happens is Time Eater... here, I can show this. When you play Piercing Wail, you apply 2 effects. You apply negative strength and an effect called Shackled, which says, at the end of this unit's turn, gain this much strength back. Time Eater removes both of these effects, so they essentially forget how much strength they had entirely, whereas the heart will only remove the negative 11 and be left with his 6 Shackled effects, then gain 6 strength at the beginning of the next turn. That's the problem there with heart. Here. We're gonna need that Blade Dance. It's okay to take some damage to line up the burner here, but we have to be at least a bit careful, lest it get out of control. Okay, that's good. Yeah, I don't know if the devs necessarily intended for the Shackled effect to have this interaction, but if you write it out on paper and look through the possible ways that such an interaction could occur, you'll find that there's no real way for it to just like work. If an enemy is removing their debuffs, then they kind of have to forget about Shackled, unless you consider a Shackled to not be a debuff, in which case you run into a different problem where the enemy will to be like the heart and gain strength off the effect. There's almost no way to have it actually work such that you don't alter the strength of enemies that are purging debuffs. You'd have to create some kind of like crazy manual exception in your keywords, and it would be terrible. Yeah, you'd have to, like, effectively completely recode the effects. Alright, we maybe could have set up Nunchaku a bit higher, but Incense Burner on 4 is the important thing. That gives us immunity to turn 2 of Spire Spear and Spire Shield, who are typically a bit of an issue. Adding 2 burns to the top of the draw pile on turn 1, and then giving you only 3 effective draws to deal with sometimes 65 incoming damage. Malaise, you're upgraded. After Image upgrade also worth thinking about, but I'll take this +1 energy here. Did we buy the specimen? Nah, we found it randomly. We're gonna buy the orange pellets, though. I'm pretty sure. Over Bag of Prep. Double Thorns Potion's kind of hilarious, too. Let's go pellets. Play a power attack and skill to remove all debuffs. It's going to let us do some pretty fun stuff, especially if we generate something like a Wraith form from the Dead Branch. Transmutation. Probably just take the draw 1. Yeah, just take draw 1. What a turn 1. Jeez. I think this is one of those fights where we want to kill the shield first, because we have the spear's attack neutralized next turn. I think it behooves us to put all of our damage on this one. Let's do that. pretty sure we can just kill. Good fight. That'll do. These are blocks, except for that. That's a block. Sure, we can go deflect, outmaneuver, tools the trade. Blast dive. Keep this, keep this, I guess. Now we want to set Incense Burner back to 4 for the heart, I believe. Means not killing it on this turn, even if we really, really want to. We really like these Wraith forms to be generated during the heart fight, though, not during this fight. Oh, come on. Don't use up all my luck. No. Get out of here. I need that for later. Phantasmal Killers here. Let's do it. 2 upgraded defense. How powerful. We have a nice amount of money. Oh, Panacea. More like Panacea later. Just stinky heart. Go blur. Panacea. So I could Purity away these Mind Blasts. Kind of tempting. Does it matter with pellets? It means that we don't get vulnerable even if we don't draw the required cards to remove the debuffs, which is pretty valuable. Malaise now might not matter, but no, it should matter. Maybe Piercing Wail for later. Don't we also need to do some damage? Getting in a Shuriken proc this turn would be nice. And I guess it doesn't matter whether this is 2 or 3. Okay, yeah. Take a little bit of Beat of Death damage here, which means we draw earlier. That part's not great. Do we even bother with Malaise then? Yeah, we should. We should. Okay. Those are good. Shoot. Definitely not the turn we wanted to be intangible, unfortunately. But we don't get much of a choice in the matter. Shoot, that's quite bad. Guess I'd be better play Predator here. Hopefully this is only 32 incoming damage, but it's still damage we more or less have to take. Let's see what Skill Potion can create. A Storm of Steel. Ooh, I don't know about that in this fight. Cloak and Dagger looks a lot better. We need stuff that actually blocks. Or we're gonna die to the Beat of Death. We only have one after image, so we can't just do Storm of Steel. 2-time champion, thanks for the 8 months of support. Power. Skill. Attack. Strength here. Okay, this is one of our turns to do a lot of damage here. Roots are hard. Go Blade Dance, then Predator. Gonna have to be. Definitely would say I'm concerned at the moment about our overall blockability. If we try to take that grand finale, we're drawing 7? It actually could get landed. I have Gambler's Brew. Yes, this will get landed. Seems helpful, too. Okay. So I have to use the Gambler's Brew if I want to use it. Don't know if that's correct. I'll also get to After Image Defend. Good news is we get to Piercing Wail next turn. But we're going to run out of time really quickly here. I don't know that we're quite making it in this fight. I think second After Image might have helped a lot. Regardless, I think we need to. Discard 4. Piercing Wail, Wound, Setup. Blast Knife, I guess. Sucker Punch, Piercing Wail. Discard Acrobatics, that hurts a bit too. I don't see us doing damage quickly enough. Part of our issue here. Ooh, that helps. We essentially have 5 turns to win. By my count, 5 turns to win. Oh, we're intangible next turn. Hold on, we might have more than 5. Excellent. Excellent. Okay, things are looking better. I could also Nightmare Piercing Wail. Okay, this looks a lot better. Let's go Sucker Punch, Heel Hook. Set up the Nightmare. Surely. Keep Leg Sweep, Piercing Wail. Is that going to be enough? Should. And we don't have any threat next turn. Or we could set up a card that we want to Nightmare next turn. And make 0-cost copies of it, like Choke, to do a lot of damage. Or leg sweep to guaranteed survive. Let's do that. This too. So we're intangible this turn, which is very helpful. Was indeed a multi-hit. And that multi-hit is nothing now. So we can actually keep this Piercing Wail for a while yet. Pretty encouraging. Nightmaring the leg sweep guarantees we survive next turn. I like it. Could also Nightmare Blur, but I don't think we have the energy for it. Damage. There's enough attacks in the draw pile that Finisher looks reasonable too. Let's keep Finisher. Just gotta believe in the heart of the cards, that's right. So, 3 free leg sweeps. Play this. Okay, now things are a little tricky. Can we do this? Not sure. Yes. Phantasmal. It's gonna be enough, though. No idea. Down to the wire here, no kidding. Tempted to Expertise. Multi-hit would make our life a lot easier, although multi-hit would actually still kill me, I think. Bane. Let's see. So Skewer is going to be 30 times... No, 45 times 4. That's enough. Haha! That's enough, Twitch chat. GG. Mr. Hart. Whew. What a run. GG. That 4 cards we managed to master? Neutralize, Mind Blast, Glass Knife, and I think one more. Predator, that's right, and Predator. 4 different masteries. GG. Twitch chat, GG. 4 different card categories, too. A starter card, an uncommon card, a rare card, and a colorless card. A masterful win. GG. GG. That was tough. That was really tough. Had to work for it in the end there at the hard fight. Nightmaring the setup leg sweep. Cool way to survive. Couldn't have done it without that bit branch, I gotta say. Has it been done? The spire sleepeth, and so shall I. GG. Look at them all. So many gold stars. That was a really cool run. Have any of the cards survived me, asks Rumpage. I was really surprised by how easy it was to get double signature move on Watcher. That was one of the earlier ones we did. First try. Now we never have to take Mind Blast again, it's true. It's true. How much healing did that Blood Vial do? 8! So we exactly didn't need it, apparently. Hey, nice, Maxim. In the top 100, that's cool. The even more or less elusive Defect Strike Mastery could occur. Unfortunately, Defect is going to have to wait for another day here, Twitch chat, as we've reached the time of the stream where we're going to be switching our game, playing something else. Deathraw says, the most elusive card so far that we've gotten close to mastering but never did. We've repeatedly tried to master Dagger Spray on Silent and failed every single time. Whoops. There we go, card library. So we've had many runs that got to the heart with 2 Dagger Sprays and failed every time. Catalyst got close as well. Didn't say the rest mattered that much. Strike for Defect. Anything that we came close to doing on Defect, but didn't? That poor double Thunderstrike build didn't get there, but that wasn't close. Is it possible to master Defect Strike on another character? Not on Ascension 20, no. Not on Ascension 20. On lower difficulties, you could put your strike into the take a card, leave a card event, then get it on a different character and duplicate it to get 2 copies of an off-color strike. And yes, it will be a different strike with different art if you get it on a different character. Evolve or Fire Breathing? I think we won with double Fire Breathing, but have we gotten there with double Evolve on Clad? Yeah. With Evolve and Fire Breathing, we got there. Starting on Ascension 15, the so-called Hole in the Wall event will no longer appear. You cannot find a card left by a prior character. Specifically, I think because it's possible to abuse. Yeah, the developers didn't want players to do nonsense like set up their save files to have the best chance of beating the highest difficulty or something like that. Leaving a Searing Blow plus 100 from an Endless Run in there as an option. And there's a few other kind of cheaty things you can do. But Twitch chat, it is time for us to switch on over to our sponsored segment for today, which is Aces and Adventures. We're being sponsored by Yogscast Games to check out the latest update to their recent release, Aces and Adventures. Not quite a deck builder, but definitely a turn-based card game with some serious Slay the Spire inspirations. In Aces and Adventures, we're going to be using a standard 52-card deck of playing cards to navigate the combat mechanics and seeing how that goes. Yeah, exactly. To be sponsored by Yogscast, that's quite something of a brain breaker for me. We're now 15 years on since the original 2008 YouTube launch of Yogscast, essentially ascending from digital content creator to now brand name. Crazy. What a 15-year journey. Maybe 10 years from now, I'll be sponsoring people to play Balelord games. Seems unlikely. Bad Hair, thanks for 5 months in the Prime sub. Creeping your way up to A20. Keep working at it. Don't give up. Baylor Lord Games. Have I been sponsored by Raid Shadow Legends yet? No, I've turned down a couple sponsorship offers for Raid. They have offered me large dollar value numbers to do the Raid Shadow Legends thing, but I've never wanted to go down that road. So we've never done it. And nowadays I can play games I'm far more interested in and get paid for that, which is pretty dang cool. What kind of tea? Green tea with coconut. I've heard a couple people mention Scotino that they've played it unironically. Some folks, I guess, like it. Checkors, thanks for the Prime sub. Anywho, not here to talk about other games. We're here to talk about Aces and Adventures, at least starting in a few minutes. I am going to take a quick couple of minute break here. Twitch chat, refill the legs, stretch the water, type up a social post that I need to do. And when I return in, let's call it 5 or so minutes, we'll be checking out a new deck builder, Aces and Adventures. Back in a few, everybody. Don't go nowhere.